It's Filaments and Fibre with Steve Brooks and Stephanie Lester.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, we still alive?
I think so, just
about. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, or good afternoon.
Wherever you are
in the world. In case you've missed us, we are back. We've had a bit of a break because...
Had a COVID break.
We had a COVID break, yes. Yeah. Yes, some people go abroad on holiday. Some people go to Spain or Australia or somewhere nice and warm. We had a break to COVID.
We did.
Cousin COVID came to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very good, was it? Well, I had it first of all, didn't I? I sort of was...
But we couldn't understand why you had it and I didn't, because we go everywhere together. And that week I'd been somewhere where you hadn't been.
Yeah.
With them. So in theory, I'd met people and you hadn't, and I should have got it, but you got it.
I could have been just closer to somebody in the queue for coffee in the morning, but I got it. And it's funny, we said how different it is, the symptoms with people. With me, it seems to affect your weakest spot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With me, it was my back. And I didn't know, I got up one morning, I had this real pain across the base of my back, the lumbar region, right across. And I've had back trouble in the past, lots.
Oh, yes.
And that's where it got me. And I thought, I went and now walked, and we came back, and I said, I don't feel too good. And he said, do a test for COVID. No, I don't need COVID. I'm not going to have COVID. And then, of course, what happens? I mean,
it lit up, babe, didn't it? I mean, it literally...
The T-line came before the C-line.
I mean, it barely had got past the line which would normally light up after 30 minutes if you're lucky, and it went ping!
Or if you're unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. But I mean, it did. Yeah. It lit up like a neon lamp, didn't it?
It was, yeah. So I know I definitely had it. And then went through the week, and you very kindly looked after me.
Well, the thing is, we'd said there's no point me isolating from you because we'd been together the whole time.
Yeah,
and
we were in the same house, and it was ridiculous trying to isolate. But whatever I did to make sure you got it, short of remember, I thought even if I'd ran my tongue down your throat, you wouldn't have got it.
But we laughed, didn't we? Because we kept saying, I kept testing every day, obviously, because
negative,
if I needed to go out and get stuff.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until last Sunday.
The day before I tested negative
I tested positive.
You would be suffering with your hay fever.
Well, exactly. The thing is, I get hay fever this time of year and, cold. But that particular day I said, good God, it really has hit me hard. And we did a call with the Bloomz on Zoom, didn't we? And after that, I was thinking, I need a Lemsip or something. And I did a test and went, oh.
But I think because you'd already got a virus, you'd already got what we'll call it Uncle Histamine.
Yes.
He wouldn't let anybody else in to start with, would he? And
clearly he was taking it all for himself,
So Auntie COVID couldn't get through the door, and then eventually...
But when Auntie COVID did arrive, she decided to attack my sinuses, which is my weak point.
That's your weak point, your sinuses.
I had an operation on my sinuses many years ago.
You've got a peculiar nose, haven't you?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, when I was little, and as children, you used to sort of say of your best friends around
who's
what
got
part...
the worst nose?
No, who's you'd want your friend... I remember it was my friend Daryl, we all wanted her eyes, and the other one, the guy who wanted her lips. And everybody
what were you, serial killers?
And everybody always wanted my nose. Because it was small, and I said small but very painful.
Oh yeah, because you've got a hole. Well, only got two holes in it. They're called your nostrils. But,
yes.
But you've got another hole halfway up, haven't you?
Yes, because basically I went to a consultant many moons ago. Because it was quite funny actually. The doctor didn't take me seriously until one of my skiing holidays was ruined, and he loved skiing, and at that point he decided that was just serious, and so he sent me to a consultant. But anyway, my sinus passage apparently is very, very small, and then he did an X-ray, a full, well, not an X-ray, it's a full scan, isn't it?
Yeah.
And out the side of my nose, because my sinuses were so, basically it created another hole direct to under my eye. Yeah. And you could see it. It was just like, oh my God. Wow. And it was like, that's why it's even more painful, because you now have it coming out of there. So, and that's what COVID is.
So if you're having breakfast at the moment,
I hope you're enjoying that.
We're really sorry.
Yes, we're enjoying the anatomy of my face.
I'm just thinking back when we first got together.
Yeah.
And we sort of Well, you did most of the cooking then, I must admit.
I did all the cooking, most of the cooking.
Right.
All the cooking.
Yeah. It was, your meals were somewhat of a
collection.
Well, I would say they're compared to Sammy's abstract art. That's how I would say they were very abstract.
I don't like to use a recipe.
No, I would say mixed media.
Mixed media. I don't like to use a recipe. Whatever's in the kitchen.
Anything that's in the fridge.
You get on your plate.
Sweet or sour.
No, it's
sweet
not.
Or
No.
There's things appear in your.
You get
concoction.
fruit in with your meat. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I know.
Nothing
but
wrong.
But I wish you'd have peeled and done something with the apple first and stuck it in the middle of the plate. No, so I was not subject. That's not the right word. I was.
No, but what was quite funny was at the start, because obviously we had COVID, and your first meal arrived that I'd made. And you went, it was always like, oh my God, I've forgotten about this.
Yes,
and the look on your face, it was just like, oh my God, yes, I've got to get used to this, haven't I?
Yes.
And then by day 3, you were going, getting quite excited about what's going to turn up now.
The thing is, well, that's it. It's that not everything is at first visible.
No.
You have to go hunting for it on the plate.
Yes.
And hidden beneath, I don't know, a slice of, a fillet of pork maybe, there could be some cranberries and an egg. Just lurking beneath there, and but I was very, very grateful. But it was funny, didn't it? Because I woke up from a sleep on the sofa, and you said, "Do you want something to eat?" And I said,
"Oh yeah,
I'll have a Snickers."
Well, no, but what it was, that was your very first day on the sofa, and you were doing that. I don't want to put you to any trouble type business, because I was going to go down the den for the day, and I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll bring in drinks and things like that, and then I'll go down the den. What do you need?" And you said, "Just leave me with a Snickers." And I'll just, if I need anything, I'll just have a bite on that. Then you went to the loo, and then you came back and you said, actually, I can't think of anything worse.
I just woke up, whether I had a dream that was chocolate lead, I don't know.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
No,
Snickers.
But it's just good that we didn't get the very bad variant.
Oh no, I'm very grateful that the version that we've had, I've received my upgrade of the COVID virus. And so
this is interesting because you're very much into this universal spiritual thing, which is rubbed off on me, and apparently your guys in the universe are saying this is an upgrade.
Well, all viruses are an upgrade.
Yeah.
So I've had mine, thanks.
I think I need to be rebooted a couple of times before my upgrade took place.
Well, I mean, some, as we all know, when people have their operating systems upgraded, like some people still lust after Windows 98, don't they? And some of us, have moved on.
Yeah, but I think upgrades are only good if your hardware is suitable. I think part of my hardware is fucked.
You're a bit. Well, that's why your weak spot goes. Ooh, not up to this. But
still, now we both feel tired, even though we're out of it now.
Yeah, still getting. Mine's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I get the old. Boom.
Yeah. It's you sort of, and I can only describe it as you feel like a car battery that won't hold its charge. That's
no alternator.
No alternator. Your alternator's buggered, and it's just not recharging. You put all the fuel in, and when you used it, it uses up so quickly it's gone.
So then you have to actually plug yourself into the drip feed.
But the trickle charge. The downside for me of relinquishing the kitchen to you, albeit for a few days, is that wonderful thing that is the kitchen utensil hide and seek.
Yes.
Finding the kitchen utensils, because I now.
If you know me at all, anybody who's listening and has seen my den and my desk and things like that, you'll know that my filing system is quite unique. It may look quite random to most people.
Yeah, I think the technique uses chaos.
Yes. And
chaos theory.
I'll put it this way, I don't think I have any Germanicness in my family genes, because they're very ordered and very particular.
What's the opposite race that we're going to
chaotic race? I don't know what a chaotic race is, but that's where my genes
South Londoners, they're
South London come from. And basically, it's a bit more, there isn't a particular place for anything. And if you're lucky, I might remember where I've put it, type thing. And that's what I'm like with the kitchen.
We used to share an office. I remember glancing over to my right.
But I'm just
desperate to clear your desk.
But just to say, I was the one which decided to remove myself from the office because I couldn't bear to be in there with you rather than the other way around, wasn't that?
Because I was too tidy.
No, because you're too noisy.
I do tend to give a running commentary on my day.
And also on the phone. You shout down the phone to people.
I'm deaf in one ear.
And you insist on doing hands-free phones all the time. Like
I love it.
Everybody in the office must listen to my conversation. It's like, oh my God.
Anyway, this started off as a criticism of the kitchen utensil. Somehow it's got round to criticising me for my office
How I turned that around.
You're very clever. Very clever.
Yeah.
So it was... Because I'm doing all the cooking normally, because it leaves you free to do your many things you do. I don't know what you do, but you...
No, I mean, let's not turn this into anything else. For the first 7-8 years that we were together...
Oh, it was 6 years to start with, 5 years. Now it's got to 7 or 8.
Yes, it's 7 or 8 years.
It can't be, because the last 3 years I've been in the kitchen.
No, we've been together for a lot longer than that. So, 7 years, after 7 years... After 7 years...
12th year this year.
I said to you, when we first got together, you told me you loved cooking.
Yeah.
Where's the evidence? And since then, you decided to provide me with some evidence.
Provide you with some sustenance.
And I ran away from the kitchen, and I've left you to it ever since.
Yeah. So, because when somebody has control over a space, they got their own sort of where everything goes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. just normal sort of... That obviously goes in that drawer, because the rest of them... No.
No, not at all. It's whatever's closest, really.
Loaf of bread in the bloody dishwasher.
No.
That type of thing. Anyway, we're okay now, aren't we? Virtually.
Well, we're just tired.
Just tired.
Yeah.
Back to normal.
But apart from the fact when I did a video of myself the other day, and I was re-looking at the video, and I could absolutely see that I had COVID in my eyes.
Yes. I said that could be the opening line for a song, couldn't it?
I've got COVID in my eyes.
I've got COVID in my eyes. but I love you all the better.
I have COVID eyes for you. Anyway,
yes.
Carry on,
talking about how long we've been together, one of your friends, or our friends, Fiona, who's getting married.
Yes.
This year. Bless. Yeah. We're going to the wedding.
We are.
We've been invited. That must have been a mistake.
It's on your desk. I think
that must have been a mistake, wasn't it?
We did have the invite behind the clock on the mantelpiece.
Oh, yeah, behind the clock on the mantelpiece.
Yes, we did.
Now, for those youngsters listening, which are probably many of them...
Do you know what a clock is or a mantelpiece?
A clock is or a mantelpiece. That's where we always used to put things when we were growing up, when we were little.
Every important document
went behind the clock.
Yeah.
And I've got visions now of my house where I grew up, Mum and Dad's house. There was a clock, not dissimilar to the one we got on our mantelpiece now. And behind there was all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
And it all had a tinge of grubbiness, because of course we had a coal fire.
Yeah.
And the smoke sometimes, if the chimney needed sweeping, the smoke would come out of the documents behind the clock on the mantelpiece.
Yeah.
So when you say to anybody now, I'm going to put it behind the clock on the mantelpiece, there's lots of phrases, aren't there? So we get a bit off kilter here. But lots of phrases.
About Fiona's wedding.
We'll come back to that in a minute. But I'm just thinking there's lots of phrases that we use because they're of our era that you think nobody will know what you're talking about today.
But what I find interesting about that is because there were lots of phrases before we were around that our parents and grandparents used. But when they used it, we inquired as to what it was. So I actually know what all those things are and adopted it. But I do find the generation of today just go, oh, that's from your time.
Yeah, so they don't even bother
and they just
to
move
find
on.
out how much better our time was. I mean, things like if somebody's going a bit like Speedy Gonzales.
Yeah.
1941 cartoon, Speedy Gonzales.
Was it?
Yeah. I looked it up this morning.
Oh my
1941 cartoon.
God, I remember Speedy Gonzales.
It's like if somebody's having trouble choosing things, I'll always say, any 8 from 10.
Yeah.
Well, of course, people say, what? Well, of course, when you did the football pools, when I did them, sat down with my dad and we looked at the football pools, you tried to get 8 draws from 10.
Well, talking about that and doing football pools, it was a Grand National yesterday.
We didn't win.
No, we didn't. But we sat down and we watched it because that's what we do.
We
don't bet on anything.
Well, I did have a flutter.
No, I'm just saying we don't bet the rest of the year, but we do bet on that. We didn't bet on the ones that I chose, and that was just as well because they didn't win either.
No,
but
not mine.
No.
One was close, but until...
I chose Dingo Dollar because of Cindy.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one was Snow Leopardess.
Yeah.
Because number one, she was a grey and the leopard. But it didn't really help because neither of them... I don't think either of them finished, actually.
No. Nobody got seriously injured.
Good.
Either.
That's
I know some people
thing.
did for and against horse racing, but
I know.
it was nice that the winning jockey, it was his last race ever.
Oh my God, he was an amateur jockey as well, wasn't
amateur
he?
Jockey.
Amazing.
An
Anyway.
amateur jockey for 35 years.
Yeah, and a dentist.
And a dentist.
So you might not have much sympathy for him after.
Anyway, going back to where we...
Yeah.
Oh no,
Fiona's wedding as well.
Fiona's wedding. We'll talk about old phrases another time that we used to use,
Yeah.
because there's loads of them that the kids today don't, understand. Apparently I'm lit, apparently.
Well, I used to say they've got their own new
Oh, yeah.
phrases, and it was something that Sammy put up on one of the posts.
Oh, OGs.
And I thought, does that mean old girls? And then I realised that you were listed in it as well. So
And you still thought it meant old girls.
Perhaps it means old guys, as in the generic term guys.
You can't do that
And then
these
when
days.
we spoke to her, it says it means original
gangsters.
And I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
She was like, oh yeah, with the youngsters.
With the
Yeah.
youngsters. And you've got to do
Catch
the
up
hand
stuff.
thing, haven't you? Where it looks as though you've chopped off two fingers in a chainsaw accident.
Original gangsters.
Yeah, original gangsters. We're doing it now, folks.
Yeah, we are. Honest.
And apparently I'm sick and lit. Which, I don't know, I was ill and someone set fire to me.
I understand the sick part, but not
yeah, lit
necessarily
apparently is hot. Lit, as in... Ooh.
Yeah, I think it was referring to the lamps, not you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I still consider myself to be lit.
Yeah, well, I know you do.
Yeah.
You consider yourself
Every time
to
I
be...
look in the morning, I look in the mirror in the morning, I say, God, you're lit. Oh, no, it's shit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, I knew.
Yeah. It was close. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But back to Fiona's wedding.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fiona, we keep... Yes, she's getting married to Chris in May.
Yes.
21st of May, I think it is. Seems to ring a bell.
Okay, you're looking at me as if
maybe
I'm
they're
gonna
campanologists.
I'm going to remember dates. Campanologists, what, bell ringers?
Yeah, rings a bell. Sorry, my silly jokes.
Oh, God.
So we're going to the wedding.
Yes.
Obviously a mistake inviting us, but as she'll find out when we get there. She said to you, apparently, she said, were we ever going to get married?
No, she didn't say it to me. They were just talking
in a group.
Yeah.
I wasn't a part of this.
Just talking on the messenger group as we do, and just saying, wonder if, by going to a wedding, because it's our first Bloomz wedding.
Yes.
And we were just saying, don't
artists.
expect any Bloomz babies,
That'd be an immaculate conception.
And then it was, I wonder whether, Steph and Steve would be, encouraged to take the plunge and do the wedding. And then Fiona said, well, if they write their own vows, I wonder if there's ever been a wedding where the actual vows are, fuck you. Be a first, wouldn't it?
Which is even funnier coming from Fiona.
I know, from Fiona. It's hilarious, yeah.
Bless her,
absolutely.
yeah.
No, but I love that. And no, we won't be, just in case anyone's asking.
Any plunge you'd make is a knife in my back.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Bless you. You said to me last week, because I love a video, don't I? I love an Instagram video. I love Instagram video, and I love those that have got some sort of fact. Oh, that's good. And you said to me, you said it's like living with a meme.
So this went back to, because I think we probably mentioned it before, about the fact that you watch lots of cat videos.
Only because they come up on my feed.
And then you thrust them in my face, and I go, I don't actually want to look at them. So then what I decided to do is I thought, right, I'm going to try and do it the other way around. And when occasionally a cat video or something comes up on my screen, I'm going to say to you, oh, here's something which is quite nice. And so I turned it round, and the expression, because obviously all I could see is your expression, the expressions on your face, it's like watching a bloody meme. It's hilarious. Just this cat, wasn't it? Which came out.
What was it called? A chaparral or something?
Oh, I don't know.
With the ears and...
But even when you watched it for the sixth time, you still jumped every time it came out. It was just hilarious.
It was
yeah. So now I said I want a video. It's almost like my own version of Gogglebox. I need to video your reaction to the videos and make loads of memes out of them.
We could never do Gogglebox. For those of you who don't know, Gogglebox is a programme on television in the UK. Oh God, it's an awful programme. Where people...
just video people's reactions to TV
programs. People are being videoed, watching telly, and their reaction. The trouble is, they know they're being videoed, so surely their reactions...
because I think it's there all the time, isn't it?
You could never do that with us.
No, I couldn't do it.
They'd have to keep cutting, wouldn't they?
Well, yeah, because I'd get done for... it's case in point. isn't it? If you think about it, the uproar. I mean, it was a bit bad. Will Smith getting up on the stage and smacking Chris Rock, but I won't make no comments about that. But basically, we'd be banned because I'd be on the sofa. I'd be on the sofa. Yeah, I'd be banned from the sofa for 10 years for hitting you. So yeah, but although people probably think you deserved it, but anyway.
Yeah. So that's me, and you're not perfect.
Really?
No.
What have I done?
No, it's just it brings me back to the very first time, I think, or one of the first. No, it was the very first time I travelled in your car.
Oh.
And with the top down.
Right. Oh.
And we arrived back in the drive here, and you've got one of these electric roofs on the car.
Yeah.
It's a hard roof, but it comes, and there's two spikes.
Oh, they're huge.
That come over your head and lock into the above the windscreen. And you said, what did you say? You said, oh yeah. You said, be careful as the roof comes.
I said, be careful. You don't want to be lampooned.
Lampooned by the roof. And I said, what? You said, with this. I said, you mean harpooned? And that was the start of many years of your slightly off kilter.
Yeah, the words they're close.
As you did with the perfect one the other day.
Right.
When you were talking in the kitchen about somebody trying to do something and they'd never succeed. And you said, it's like dogging a dead horse. Which I just thought, what car park is going to be anybody dogging a dead horse? I mean,
oh my God!
So
sorry, flogging a dead horse.
Too late.
In case nobody.
It's out there now. It's
I
out
did
there
say
now.
that. You're right.
It's out there now.
Oh my God!
Something happened the other day which I thought was just hilarious. And it was hilarious watching two grown women corpse on a Zoom call, which was just amazing. Oh. We had a Zoom call for the Bloomz art group that we'll talk about in a minute. We're not going to finish this without mentioning the wonderful Bloomz. But we had a call. It's difficult to explain this, but we have a group of Bloomz ladies. One of them is Sammy, who we've mentioned a lot on here. So Cindy.
Let me explain something a little.
Okay.
As in, this was a mixed group Zoom call, as in the original gangsters of the Bloomz.
The OGs.
And also our guest artists. Now, obviously, as you can imagine, in the OGs, there's an awful lot of in-jokes. We get a lot of innuendos, a lot of stuff.
It's innuendo city.
We just, everyone laughs and we all have the same humour. And then you have new people who we're not quite sure about. Carry on.
Yeah, not quite sure about, So we've been in our appropriate rooms coming back in, and I'm going to have to be careful here because I don't want but we had this situation where these two wonderful OGs, Sammy and Cindy, both would be listening to this, and I have this habit, I'm afraid, and I do apologise. I tend to, you
smut everything up.
I smut things up, but then keep a straight face.
Yes.
And then other people came into the on the call and then were visible to us.
Yeah.
You, and of course these two were just, thank God, they both said to me, thank God they've got strong pelvic floors.
But what was hilarious was because I came in and obviously something had been going on.
Oh, yes.
You could just tell, because basically when I had entered the room, we still had some of the newbies, and one of the guys was sorting out his visual
one
thing.
of the guys.
But what happened at this stage, because we'd missed all the previous bit, was you were saying, Ben was just sorting out his camera and everything.
I wasn't going to give you names.
And Katerina, who also came in with me, said, what you might need is a ring light. And at this point,
Cindy fell off a chair.
Yeah, and Sammy just left the room. Sammy literally went out of the room into the garden. And you think there was something going on in here before we've arrived, because that wasn't that funny.
The wonderful thing is the fact that we're all senior people.
Yeah.
And we can have this good laugh. That is the thing. It's just genuine. We're not laughing at people, we're laughing with people. It started off because Ben had got a misty camera, and I said, you might want to clean your lens, Ben, because on your laptop, because it's not giving you a very good representation. Also, you've got a filter on. So he gets up and he moves towards his laptop.
But Ben, he basically stands up and takes the bottom of his t-shirt.
Takes the bottom of it, which was tucked in, and untucks it. And all I said was, what are you going to clean it with?
Yeah. So
and of course, that started the girls off. They just fell about. Yeah. And then I just sort of added to it, by saying...
Well, the trouble is, you kept a straight face and just kept saying...
Well, I said things like, you don't want to clean anything hard that's going to leave a residue.
Yeah.
And it just went on and on and on. But it was lovely because it just shows that whatever's going on, we can have a laugh.
Oh, God.
And it's not laughing.
But there's nothing worse though than coming in like that. There's two things. Like number one, coming in halfway through a joke, because clearly I knew something had happened. The fact that there were two before, and I was thinking, okay. But I said exactly the same thing. If you turn up to a party halfway through and you're completely sober and everyone's drunk, it's just like that. You miss all the jokes, and you just think, I need to go to the bar and catch up because otherwise I'm not going to be.
It'll take you very long.
Well practiced.
So it just But humour is a huge part of our life.
Oh, God, yes.
Humour is a big part of it. I think it should be a big part of anybody's
that's why COVID didn't stay with us that long.
No, it couldn't
keep up with the jokes.
With us. Can you imagine if you were trying to find a host as a virus and you found us, with all that we do, and all these little collapsing it up and let me get out? Oh, no, we bloody won't. A couple of days you may have us, but then you can just fuck off. You're not having you here much
Move
longer.
on, buddy.
And it is that, isn't it? It is, and it also is relaxing as well. We don't let things stress us out.
No.
As much as some people do.
Well, and also that was something my brother had said to me early on, which is, even when COVID was really bad, he said the worst thing you can do is be stressed about it. I know it sounds awful that you're struggling to breathe and everything, but you need to relax. And in fact, that is one of the things that I did do, because my problem with the sinuses was I had complete blockage, and the only place I could breathe was through my mouth. And if you start coughing, then you've now stopped that access, and you can panic. But I did exactly what he said, which is just don't panic, just keep breathing shallow, and it cleared, and you think, how ridiculous is that? So there obviously wasn't anything that badly there that it cleared.
I did bring you in a washing up bowl with steaming boiling water. Yeah. Problem is, it's one of those washing up bowls that's got a plug in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been quite.
Soaked the cushion.
It couldn't have been quite secured because I came back from going out to find that this cushion was in the hallway up against the radiator.
Heard of hot lips hula-han? This was hot legs hula-han.
I thought you had an accident. I thought you haven't got your tenors on, darling. I could laugh about that because I tell you what, guys, any guys listen to this, if you get to my age and you have a problem down that
get
region,
yourself some tenors.
Tenor men.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
I know. There's, it was hilarious as you think about it. Growing up, I don't remember any of my elderly aunts and uncles or anybody ever talking about. Now they've obviously all suffered from exactly the same issues that we're now suffering from at this age.
You're going to get too close to them.
Nobody ever spoke about it, did it? No, and we're all very let's go out.
Yeah, when you get to my age,
let's go get these things.
When your sphincter starts to fail, you need something to soak up the.
Is that something in Egypt?
Well, that's a sphinx.
Oh.
The Sphinx with a huge tenor man round it.
That'd be a good advertising campaign.
It's like I make you laugh in the day because this is unfortunate and it's a real sad. But Bruce Willis has got asphasia. You were trying to remember what disease it got.
Well, I was saying, because we love Bruce Willis, we love all the Die Hard movies, and so when I read that he had actually retired and he had I don't know if it's considered a disease or a condition, but it was affecting his brain, his ability to communicate and speak. And I was trying to remember what it was called, and I was like, it's. I think it might be called aphasia or something.
You said aphasia. I said, no, that's what.
I said aphasia, and you said, no, I think that's what Captain Kirk uses. I fell about, and as I say, not to detract from the fact that it's very sad, and we love Bruce Willis dearly, and it's a real sad. It's sad because I think it's one of those ones where your brain remains the same. You just can't communicate. It must be so irritating.
Horrible. Before we get on to talk about the Bloomz, which is very, very important to talk about at the end of this. Something that really has annoyed me, and this will be controversial because I can see the point in some of it, but this bloody Extinction Rebellion lot.
The what?
Yeah, you what? Yesterday in London, it was virtually gridlocked. The fucking Extinction Rebellion group sitting down there. Have you not heard of Extinction Rebellion? Oh my God, where have you been?
Well, I don't listen to any news, do I?
Greta Fireplace over in bloody wherever she is.
What, animals extinction or plants?
No, this is the save, don't use fossil fuels, save the planet. It's called the Extinction Rebellion group. Where have you been? Oh, you've had COVID, haven't you? They've been going for a few years now. It's got more and more and more. Okay. But they do these sit-ins on the road, and I can understand what they're on about, and I condone their ethics about it, but not the way they go about it.
Right.
So
why were they stopping things?
Oh, they just got stopped. They were trying to get the government to stop spending money on fossil fuels and everything. But by pissing off most of London and sitting down in the middle of the road, there were hundreds of them, thousands of them yesterday.
Well, I assume they were trying to make a point.
Yeah, but I mean, you aggravate people by. I know some people listening to this say, "Well, that's the only way you can make a point."
Yes,
I'm sorry. If I was going, just imagine Em and Joe taking Ezra to Great Ormond Street, and they can't get down any of the roads because all these people are sat in the middle of the road, and you can't run them over, can you? No, you're not allowed to. Well, right, the Bloomz Arthouse Collective, a group of wonderful artists. I'm going to do the intro for this because I suppose Sammy called me an OG, but you call me an arse.
Yeah.
As in an associate member, not a.
Well, you're not one of the OGs because the OGs came from the group of girls who were on the course, and you weren't on the course. No.
But I came as an associate
member. You were originally involved in the show, but not originally involved in the group.
No, that's right. No. So I'm an associate member. So I've seen
AS for short.
An AS for short. Yeah. I've seen it grow from how it started, and it's fantastic. Now you do one show a year, an annual show.
Yes.
So these artists, and there were 7 core members, OGs. This year we've got me and 7 other.
15 in total.
7 of the guest artists.
Yeah.
15 in total, covering 15 completely different genres of art, from abstract to watercolour to my lamps to photography,
well, even down
everything.
So because we've got 2 artists who focus on the female, but in completely different ways, because you've got Elisa, who very much paints your soul,
and Elisa's in Italy.
Yeah, and then we have Katerina, who's in Switzerland, who actually paints the divine feminine. We did an artist cafe with myself, Debbie and Katerina the other day. I was able to ask her about that, and she was saying that the divine feminine is just a part of all people, and it's just one part of our characters, and she just likes to bring that part of the character of the person that she's painting out, and that's why it's so colourful, and so that's one essence, one part, and
Elisa's is so different to her. She
does the soul.
So this is what you get 15 artists totally different in their art, and the idea is it's an art show online using Zoom. And if you've used Zoom before, you'll think, oh God, not Zoom again. Different way of using Zoom. Completely different way of using Zoom.
I'm actually trying to put together some video that I took of us doing, because we did a little rehearsal, didn't we, the other day? And I did some little fly-on-the-wall videos, which I'm going to put out to hopefully give people a flavour of what it's like.
Because it's using some magical, almost hidden features of Zoom that people don't understand. So you're going to be able to visit the art show. It is free. Don't stop listening to think, oh no, it's going to be 10, 15 quid. It's free to get you. You've got to register, go onto the bloomz.co.uk, and that's always Bloomz with a Z, not an S at the end, bloomz.co.uk, and you can register for your ticket. You have to register because then you get given the link to log on, and come to this wonderful online art show. And the idea is you've got 15 artists in their studios all across the world. We've got New Zealand, Australia, Italy, Switzerland, Scotland, England, and they're in their studios live. Now, unlike when you visit an art gallery where you get dressed up and you go, it's a little bit pretentious maybe, and you've got all the quas talking to the artist.
It's not even that, it's more the fact that it's quite an effort, isn't it? To
and
actually,
you can't spend long talking to the artist.
And also to get there.
Yeah.
Because, you may not have to drive through what's protest in London, but even just getting yourself onto a motorway and getting somewhere, it's an effort. And petrol costs a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, God, it is now.
So the least you need to do is to get yourself out of bed and put some clothes on.
Yeah. Or not.
Yes. Well, I wish they would.
Well, from the waist up would be appreciated.
Yeah.
But the idea is, if you go to an art gallery, you don't normally take the artist to one side and chat about their art and their process and their techniques in detail, because there's no time.
No.
Here at the Bloomz Art Show, you've got 3 hours, which you can go around, you can talk.
Well, there's 3 sessions of 3 hours.
There's 3 sessions of 3 hours over 2 days, where you can actually visit the artist in their studio live. And just let that sink in for a minute, what that means. It means you can, from your armchair, you can be instantly talking to Cindy in Melbourne, in her studio, where she's painting another fabulous tiger. While she's talking to you, she's put her brushes down, and you can say, oh, that one you're doing, and you can talk to them. If they're already talking to somebody, there's a show reel running on part of your screen, so you can watch their show reel, which is just about 2-3 minutes maybe going by until they're free, or you might want to join in a conversation they're having with somebody else in their room.
Absolutely.
And this is the amazing thing. So you get to see all these amazing artists, you can see their work, you can ask them things, there's no silly questions.
No.
You can ask Debbie about ceramics, you can ask you about fibre sculpture, you can ask Sammy about abstract art, Julie about her encaustic wax.
And the nice thing is that I think the show reel is great, because the show reel is an introduction to the artist as well, and obviously shows you details of either past work or future work, or because as in future projects they're dealing with. But also we do actually put prices on, because we want you to understand what our pricing is in case you are interested. It doesn't mean I'm putting this up because I'm selling it.
There's no hard sell.
It's more an information. This is this piece, this is how big it is, this is the prices that I charge, but that's just information about the art, because you might not want to ask. So it's there.
That's it.
And then you can actually happily then talk to the artist and actually say, oh, I noticed that other one. I mean, is it really that big? Because it's difficult to imagine, isn't it, sometimes, how big pieces are. Or, how did you do that? Is that really real gold leaf you've got in there? Or is that metal? All those
The important thing to remember about this is it's not a hard sell show.
No.
In nobody's room, in nobody's studio, you're going to get the feeling that you've got to maybe buy a piece.
No.
It's not what it's about. It's about finding out about the artist, what makes them tick. It's about finding out about the medium they use, why they use that medium, what their process is, what their inspiration is. So it's all this finding out about the art, getting an appreciation of 15 different art forms, and you'll soon realise that your art world is widened.
And also you'll be able to, each artist on their show reel as well will have details of like their newsletter, their Facebook or their Instagram or LinkedIn, whichever social media. So however you would like to continue following them or keep in touch, you can then do that. So you could have 15 artists that you're now following or on their newsletter, and so your life will be enriched by that.
Brilliant. So this is what you need to do, folks. Those of you that are thinking, this might be something I could do. It's Friday the 29th and Saturday the 30th of April, so 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
On the Friday it's 7 p.m. GMT plus 1. On the Saturday it's 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. GMT plus 1. So you've got 3 opportunities. Now, here's the thing. You can come to 1 or 2 or 3.
Yes.
You haven't just got to get a ticket for 1. You might think, well, I've only got an hour to spend on the Friday. I'll go for an hour. But then I've got a couple of hours on the Saturday evening or morning.
Yeah, pop back.
So you can pop back. So again, you're not forced to do it all in one session. And it's great. And there's no other art show like this in the world.
No,
where you can see this
unique.
many artists
Unique.
with this many different art forms covered. It is unique.
Yeah.
Like the art itself.
Oh, yeah. Bring your own drink, be it coffee, tea, bubbles.
And
or beer.
I thought you'd mentioned bubbles at the end of it.
I'll be having my bubbles, I confess.
Yes.
I must confess, though, I don't drink bubbles at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sorry?
Well, not at the show, anyway.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be do for now, folks. Thank you very much for listening to this wonderful episode, and we hope that you all keep yourselves safe and well, and join us in a couple of weeks' time. So for now, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night. That was Filaments and Fibre with Steve Brooks and Stephanie Lester.
I'm going to do my own little protest in the road and lie down in front of your car later.
Like a big speed hump.
Yeah.